Hi dear children, welcome to our next class. In last class you learned about igneous rocks, how the igneous rocks are formed and what are the different types of igneous rocks, how we are using them you learned very well. And in today's class we are going to learn about sedimentary rocks. What's the meaning of sedimentary and how the sedimentary rocks are formed? What are the different types of sedimentary rocks we are going to learn in today's class? When we see the definition of sedimentary rocks, they are formed from pebbles, sand, mud or clay that get deposited in seas and oceans. So when all these things are deposited in seas and oceans, they form the sedimentary rocks. How they are getting deposited? How these rocks are formed inside the sea when we see repeated heating and cooling of mountains. The mountains get repeatedly heating and cooling. How they get heated? Due to summer, because of sun's heat, the mountains get rapidly heated and then they become cool at night time. This repeated heating and cooling, sometimes by the rain, by wind, and sunlight also breaks these rocks which are there on mountains. So these small pieces of rocks carried down by rivers and strong winds into the lakes and seas. So whatever broken down on mountains, they'll be carried into the sea by rivers. Rivers are formed, take birth on mountains. Many holy rivers are taking birth on mountains, so along with the river water they'll flows down into the seas. So these small pieces of rocks carried here to the seas and lakes and then to the seas, they sink into the bottom and settle down to form the layers. All these rocks goes down into the sea and form the layers. They are arranged one above the other and they form the layers. These layers are only known as sediments. These layers are known as sediments. How the sediments are formed, you understood now. So the rocks, after getting breakdown, they move downwards by lakes or seas and they form the sediments, right? And after sediments, when time passes, more sediments build up and the down layers of sediments undergoes some pressure. Due to this pressure, continuous pressure upon the lower layers hardens them into rocks. So due to the pressure, the lower layers are formed into like rocks. Due to the pressure, they are forming into like rocks, and such rocks are only known as sedimentary rocks. Understood now? When due to continuous heating and cooling of mountains, they get breakdown and the small pieces of rocks fall down through the lakes and enters into the seas. So they will settle down in the seas. At the bottom of the sea they settles and some pressure is created there. Due to this pressure, the rocks are formed. Such rocks are only known as sedimentary rocks. Understood? So sedimentary rocks are formed from pebbles, sand, mud or clay. Whenever these the big boulders are broken down, these all are formed like pebbles, sand, mud or clay. These all are carried into the seas and form the sediments. And due to the pressure, they get a hardened shape like rocks and they form the sedimentary rock. The major portion of the earth's surface is covered with sedimentary rocks. Most of our earth's surface is covered with sedimentary rocks only. So understood now how the sedimentary rocks are formed. You understood clearly how they are carried into the sea, how the sediments are formed here, and due to the pressure how the rocks, they are hardening and getting the shape of sedimentary rocks. You understood very well, right? And now we will see what are the different types of sedimentary rocks. How we had seen in igneous rocks different types, even in sedimentary rocks also we have different types. One of them is limestone. So this limestone is made of a mineral called calcite. They are forming from a mineral called as calcite. Calcite. Calcite is a mineral. It's a mineral. It is used in the formation of limestone. So the limestone is formed from a calcite mineral. So this mineral comes from shells of sea creatures. You know the sea creatures, right? Which animals live in seas. So all those animals, sea urchins and crabs, so many animals which live in sea. So these creatures are having a shell on them, exoskeletons they have. So and the skeletons, these are made up of with a mineral. So limestone is formed from that mineral, right? Shells of the sea creatures and skeletons, these sea creatures skeletons of millions of tiny sea creatures settle down in the seabed. So n number of sea creatures like sea urchins, crabs and so many, these all will go and settle down at the bottom of the seas. N number of sea creatures, when they settle down in the seabed, they form a layer. These layers, so they are forming like a layer. Most of the sea creatures have shells, so these shells are made up of by calcium. So whenever most of the sea creatures are forming like a layer at the seabed and they are getting hardened and they get the shape of a chalk. So after forming a layer, they get a shape of chalk. So chalk is a type of limestone. Chalk, what we are using, this chalk is also one of the form of limestone. Cement and lime are made by using limestone. We use cement for construction purpose, right? So even this cement is also made from limestone. Cement is also made from limestone. So cement we are making from limestone, and even chalk we are making from limestone. In making glass we are using, and for separating pure metals from their ores. So these all are the uses of limestone. Chalk is made and cement is made from that, and is also used in making glass. These are also used in making glass and for separating the pure metals from their ores. From their ores, ore means mixture of so many metals. So preparing alloys, alloys means mixture of many metals. So the ore is how to separate the minerals from their ore, is also we are separating by using this limestones, making the glasses. Understood, children? So there are many uses with limestone. So it is formed by the sea creatures whose body, whose skeleton is made by calcium. Those all goes down to the seabed and forms like layers. So these layers hardens to form the limestone, and chalk is a limestone. So cement, glass, all these are made from the limestones. Understood? And now we will see the other types of limestones. The, as you see in the first picture, when I zoom it you can find it out. Conglomerate. Conglomerate is one of the sedimentary rock. It is a solid mass of pebbles. So many pebbles join together and form the conglomerate rock. Yes, you can see in the picture how many pebbles and sand, gravel cemented together with minerals like silica and calcium carbonate. So they are made from, they are having, conglomerate is having some minerals known as silica and calcium carbonate. Calcium carbonate, CaCO3, and silica. These are the minerals we can find in conglomerate sedimentary rock. Okay, along with these minerals, many pebbles, sand, gravel, all these are cemented together. Mostly orange or gray in color. You can see here also showing as gray color. So it's gray in color, and silica and calcium carbonate minerals are there. Orange, sometimes it is also available in orange color, so it can withstand weathering. So weathering means breaking up of rocks into small pieces known as weathering. So it can withstand with weathering. Conglomerate cannot undergoes for weathering process. It is used in construction and for polishing ornaments. So this conglomerate is using for construction areas and polishing the ornaments. Ornament polishing, we are using conglomerate. So we discussed about two different types of sedimentary rocks. One is limestone, the other one is conglomerate. These two are examples for sedimentary rocks. Now we will see the third one. Another sedimentary rock is sandstone. Whenever you hear the word of sandstone, you can remember the Red Fort in our Delhi, right? Our Red Fort is made with the sandstone only. So it is formed when small particles of sand get compressed and cemented together. So sandstone mostly consists of sand particles only. When the sand particles cemented together, they are forming the sandstone. Mostly consist of a mineral called quartz. 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 So just now conglomerate is having calcium carbonate and silica, whereas sedimentary sandstone is having a mineral called quartz. Quartz mineral we can find in sandstone. Widely used for making buildings. Many of our old buildings, just now I told you, in Delhi, Red Fort is made with sandstone. Agra and Rajasthan are also a number of buildings made by sandstone. So now we discussed about the different types of sedimentary rocks. Among them, limestone is one of the sedimentary rock, and conglomerate is one of the sedimentary rock, and we also discussed about sandstone. Now we will see any other type of sedimentary rocks are we finding. The other one is shale. So the last picture you can see the shale. Which color is it? It's black in color. Smooth sedimentary rock, and it forms when many layers of clay harden. So you can see just now you had seen this is made, sandstone is made from sand particles and shale is made from clay. When clay cemented together and forms a hardened layer which forms the shale. Understood, children? It is used to make tiles and bricks. It's used in making tiles, bathroom, kitchen areas. We keep tiles, no? So those tiles are made from shale rock. That is one of the sedimentary rock. Understood? So conglomerate, sandstones, shale, limestone, these all are the different types of sedimentary rocks. Yes. Now, is there any other type of sedimentary rock? They are the last one. Mudstone is also one of the sedimentary rock. No layering, breaks into blocks, easily can be broken into blocks. And the other one, gypsum rocks. Gypsum rocks are also known as one of the sedimentary rocks. And Brassica is also one of the sedimentary rocks. N number of pebbles, sands are cemented just like conglomerate. Yes, so these all are examples of sedimentary rocks, and they are helpful in many ways in our day-to-day life, especially in construction areas and also for making buildings. We are using all this. And how fossils are formed? Fossils means uh, the remains of dead animals and plants, the remains of dead plants and animals. So their body parts get stuck up between the rocks. So by using these fossils, scientists will say that the plant or animal's age they'll find out, and what period they lived on planet Earth, and what type of futures they'll show, what characters and which family they are coming under. This all information will get by studying about fossils, the dead remains of plants and animals, right? So sometimes plants and animals get entrapped in the sediments. So how the sediments are formed you learnt just now. When mountains broken down, all those pebbles, sand will carry down to the bottom layers of the sea. So there the sediments are formed. So these remains of these dead plants or animals found in the sedimentary rocks are called fossils. Whatever the you can see in this picture, a plant part is remained in the sediments. Okay, so these are used, these are known as fossils. So scientists study the fossils to know the kind of life on the earth that existed millions of years ago. So they will study about this fossil, they'll say the characters, features of all these fossils. So plants and animals get entrapped in the sediments. Remaining of these dead plants or animals found in the sedimentary rocks are called fossils. So they will study the life of plants and animals by using these fossils. So one way the sedimentary rocks are also helping us to know more about the fossils. Understood? So, in last class you learned about igneous rocks, and today's class you learned about sedimentary rocks. And next class we are going to learn about metamorphic rocks. Understood? So nicely you find out the uses of in day-to-day life, how we are using the sedimentary rocks, and write the different types of sedimentary rocks and their uses. Okay children.